So recently, there's been a new game going around called Wuthering Waves, which is supposed to be somewhat like Genshin, but it's not made by Hoyoverse. It's actually made by a different company called Kuro Games, and a lot of people in my comment section have actually been asking me to give it a shot, so I decided to try it out and see if it's actually better than Genshin, or if it's just overhyped and will eventually die out, leaving Genshin on the top as usual. So, on June 1st, I opened Wuthering Waves for the first time. After some technical difficulty with the client not opening, I finally managed to get to the starting screen where I selected my character and was greeted by an amazing cutscene. Like, just look at this, man!
Oh, it's freaking...
Wow.
This is kind of sick. Man, she's kind of cute.
I mean, right off the bat, the game's cutscenes looked amazing. It was crazy how good it was, but after we woke up on the floor, we met two ladies named Chixia and Yang Yang, who helped us learn the ropes, mainly the basic stuff like climbing, fighting, etc. After that, we met face to face with a really cool looking dragon and pressed forward looking for someone we were supposed to meet. After we made it to the cliff, we managed to spot the lady we were looking for, so we jumped off the edge and floated down to greet her. This is where we learned a bit about the monsters in the game and where they come from, but something wasn't quite right. Right off the bat, after you finish the tutorial, they throw you right into another boss fight, and not gonna lie, it was actually really fun to play through. After we beat the boss, my hand decided to slurp up the thing the boss left behind like a bowl of spaghetti, and we made our way back to the main city, where we basically just did a bunch more tutorials for the rest of the day. On day 2, we finished up the rest of the tutorials I didn't finish on day 1, and I was trying to figure out what I needed to do in order to unlock the pulling system, since I had some rewards I found in the mail option in the game, which gave me a bunch of materials for characters. After I finished the quest that I was required to do before I was able to pull for characters, I opened the page, and for the first time ever, I was just given a free 5-star of my choice. Like, no gambling, no lucky rolls, just a flat out 5-star that I could pick from like the entire roster. But with that being said, the one I picked was just a cool monk lady, which was the basic option, I guess, since it was the first one that was recommended. After that, I played the story quest some more and ended up running into this cool card wizard guy named Scar, who took Yang Yang away from me, so there was no other option but to throw hands, which they actually allowed me to do without doing his silly little puzzle. So, we entered the boss fight, which was totally awesome, by the way, and after we beat him, the game gave us a level requirement we needed to reach to progress the story more, so I decided to save that for day 3. On day 3, I got sick, so I ended up just logging in. But on day 3, the sequel, we did this cool story quest with this tiger guy who is like a dancer, I think, but we needed to help a client that he had that got into some trouble in a cave system, which the level design was awesome. It did like this 2D/3D thing that changed into somewhat of a platformer, which I thought was really cool. Anyways, after we cleared out the cave a bit, we found the guy who was in trouble, and we beat up a bunch of bad guys and monsters that were holding him captive. After everyone was out the cave safe, the tiger guy had to go do this like show that he had to perform because he was part of like a dance troupe, and to be honest, it was pretty cool. And after we finished that side quest, I decided to call it a day, and I was going to continue on day 4. On day 4, I spent most of it doing this weird green gear quest that was like 10 mini quests in one that got me a ton of XP and this really cool motorcycle monster that I could use in later fights. But after I finished that quest, I was able to do this cool event that they were holding called the Overdash, which was like this like obstacle course thing that you could do, but you had to like go to different spots, and then each one was harder than the next, which also gave me a bunch of currency to get pulls for characters. I also did this side quest that took me to the top of this really tall mountain, and I found this really cool chick. Anyways, after finding the Devil May Cry reference, I finished day 4 by getting to level 14, so on day 5 I could play the story quest since I was curious to know what would happen next. On day 5 we explored the Grand Library, which turns out it was actually just a trap set for the card wizard who we lured into this library to capture him once and for all. But when he tried to escape into his domain expansion, I dove right in after him, which started a really cool boss fight. This time causing Scar to go into like a demon mode, but even with all that power he still lost to me because I'm like super awesome. But other than that, we finally got to talk to Madame Magistrate about why we were so important and why we were needed so much. And I also managed to get another 5-star named Encore, who is actually really strong. Who knew someone so short could be that deadly? But I finished up day 5 after I got Encore and decided to grind to level 21 for the next story quest on day 6. On day 6, there was an update that came out with the release of Yinlin, who has this like cool puppet moveset kind of deal. But with that, she came with a cool side quest where there was like a humanoid puppet thing that was going on, but they were like really illegal or something. And she was trying to stop this guy from making the puppets and using them. But after that, I did another one of those green gear quests and got myself to level 20. But since I was on a time crunch, I wasn't able to get to level 21 before I had to leave. So I decided to just get it on day 7 since I was only 300 XP off. On day 7, I decided to play extra long since I didn't play much on day 6. So after I got to level 21, I began the story quest where we got to learn a bunch of backstory on the city we were in and the backstory of the Madame Magistrate, which was very interesting. After that, we went back to the big mountain to meet a lady who could make flowers so we could lure another group of people into giving us information about my past, since I guess my character doesn't totally remember. But besides that, we were followed by a crazy plant lady who told me that she was a part of the Black Shores. After our encounter, I went to meet up with the others and met this really sketchy guy and Encore for the first time. Anyways, we talked to them alone since apparently they were actually good guys and not just another organization of bad people like where the card wizard came from. So they asked me to help them in exchange for information on my past, and that's what I did. I followed them to this really cool building where we fixed up the place and learned more about this reverse rain that went up instead of falling down and would summon like a bunch of monsters and stuff. After that, we also fought a boss in the basement, which was super easy to beat, by the way. And after we finished the quest, the rain actually started going upwards instead of downwards. So remember when we were talking about that rain before, you know how it like goes backwards? Yeah, it's back and causing some major problems for people down on the front lines. So you know what that means? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time to start a war. With that being said, we get to have a look at how the front lines are looking as we play as General Ji Yan while he battles conflict from his past while fighting tacit discords that are advancing. He fights against hallucinations and monsters while an antidote is being made, and after it's created, we cut back to me, Delta Boy, the coolest fool on this side of the pool who has just finished beating up a bunch of baddies. After we do that, we talk to a general who gives us info on the situation we are in, and then she helps us beat some monsters who are beating up a bunch of guards. who aren't as important or as cool as I am. Anyways, after that, she sends me and Yang Yang to go meet up with the general in the front lines because he, requested it, of course, because it's so obvious why I'm needed. After traveling for a bit, we met a dude who was delivering supplies to the front lines, but ended up dying on the way because a boss hit him. Which, by the way, it's a really cool boss and was really fun to fight, especially since I got to use Trial Ji Yan, which was awesome. But besides that, he took us to the front lines base camp where we devised a game plan since a giant monster named the Theodon was resurrecting and we needed to stop that from happening. So we set up our attack plans, but we had one small problem. There was a barrier around him that was stopping us from entering, so we needed to use a giant laser cannon to disrupt it. But it needed power, so we needed to go plug that bad boy in. After we made it there, we found a dying soldier, but it's not fair because this guy was the most important soldier in the whole game. Me and soldier number 593. We were so close. Me and soldier 593. We were the closest friends, man. We were friends since preschool. I even knew his mom. If he were here right now, to say his final words, he would probably say something like, "Please like and subscribe to the channel, because I'm dead." I'm sure that's what he would say. He would say anything else. After Soldier 593 died, I knew, no matter what, I would have to win this war. Not only for him, but for his really, really hot mom. So with that, we fired the cannon and began to charge the Theodon to finish him off once and for all. After storming past all the obstacles, we fired one more shot at the Theodon's chest, opening up a portal for me and Ji Yan to enter into. This was it, the final stand between me and the Theodon. So, I squared up and began to fight the final boss.
Stabilize the Crownless's remaining frequencies to create another monster. I remember I saw it during the battle beneath the crescent.
Run! Run!
That moon must be the core of our enemy.
Ow. Ouch. Ah. Walls of obsidian. This is your demise. Nice one. No. Jigan. No. You're my favorite character. You can't die on me yet. I still haven't pulled you. You're still not on my team. Urgh. Ring. Oh, dude, I'm hitting him with the Rasengan. You're mine. God, it's got so many BS moves, dude.
Endure defy.
Why won't you just die already? It's finally dead. Oh my god, what is that? Eat it all! Nice one.
Food. I want food.
Did you just eat that entire freaking explosion, bro? Like...
And that was it. I finished playing Wuthering Waves for 7 days, and to be honest, I actually enjoyed this game a lot more than Genshin. I found that grinding in this game was actually really fun and felt very rewarding, while in Genshin it felt like I was literally trying to pull out my own teeth since I barely got anything for doing so much work. On top of that, the movement and combat in Wuthering Waves feels 1,000 times cleaner than in Genshin. So, I have to say, Wuthering Waves is a lot better than Genshin, and I hope as time goes on, the game only gets better. But if you guys like this type of content, please make sure to go down, like, subscribe, and leave a comment to let me know if you want to see anything else in the future. But, until next time, peace.